202. Back to the main feed.
Woo!
Woo! Public. Pubic.
Chet, what's it like being back in the motherland?
Pretty cool. It's a lot cheaper. It's rained a lot, but I'm inside on my computer all the time.
Tornadic activity on the way. Be careful.
I know. I'm excited. We got a good storm coming. I might go
Eyes
sit
on
on
the
the front porch or something.
Did you guys see that system?
Yeah.
Tornadoes across the entire fucking Midwest all day. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw their like alert system said something about like they had like an epic Fortnite tweet about like if you're home, like watch the weather, don't be playing Fortnite. Your Vic Roys can wait until after. I'm gonna pull it up here. It was really epic and sick.
Well, why though?
Okay, here it is. This is from Nashville Severe Weather. Local youths, do your thing when you get home from school, but have on the TV with your local ABC, NBC, CBS, or Fox station. Keep up with us on Twitter. Don't be caught playing Fortnite during a storm warning. Get your Vic Roys after the storms blow through.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's rizzed. That's all rizzed up.
Yeah.
Well, like, what are they even trying to say?
They're saying that kids might be looking at Twitter today more than their parents, and there's tornadoes in the area. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah, I would figure the parents would have on the news.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually not the kid that's responsible for
not a
turning on
bad
the Weather
thing
Channel.
If you have a bunch of kids, getting at least one of them like kind of autistic for weather, because you'll never be like snuck up on by like a blizzard or a tornado or if you're going somewhere, they'll tell you, oh no, it's gonna be raining.
Yeah, that's what that balloon boy dad tried to do. He tried to put his kid in the weather balloon and send him up.
Yeah, well, he tried to make him
He was
into
too
weather.
much of a pussy to actually get in it.
Yeah.
Was it Falcon?
Yeah.
Falcon was the guy. Yeah, Falcon was too much of a little ass bitch ass pussy. He said, "Oh, I don't want to be in the weather balloon. I don't want to go up in the sky, fucking bitch."
Falcon's biography's out now. It's called Me and the Cuds.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's a beautiful name.
I still use the raw balloon boy coverage, like the one that starts right when they're like interviewing someone. Like, we have to cut away. We have a serious. I still use that for like my stream intro a lot. Great.
What if I did that? What if I tried to do balloon girl with my daughter?
It would be cool.
Well, it's okay because the kid isn't actually in the balloon, so it's okay.
But what if I put her in the balloon?
I think you'd get in a lot of trouble, and your daughter might die.
I would try it on a dog first. Like, you have a cat, right?
We have 2 cats. Yeah.
So you could easily just use one of them, and I would put the cat up there, and if it dies, then I wouldn't
I have tons
send
of
a kid.
cats.
Yeah,
My daughter.
he can lure a strange cat too.
Yeah, I've got all those cats that just leave dead animals.
It was like what the Soviets did to test.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Shouts out Laika, shouts out Belka and Strelka.
How many cats you need when you need them by?
Yeah, Spike, thank you. I just like 7 cats, maybe next week. Just leave them in my shed. I'll send them up to space.
Spike's a dog catcher, but for dogs that aren't like lost.
He's a dog finder.
Dog abductor.
No, that's too harsh.
Bounty the dog hunter.
Bounty dog.
Bounty the dog hunter.
This is the first podcast where we can say we are doing a live show.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
In Beacon, New York at Toy Pizza Expo. Buy your tickets today, now.
And folks, we
Link in bio?
Wouldn't blame you if
link
you
in bio.
thought it was the Beacon Theater in New York that we had. That we obviously have the ability to sell that place out, but it's actually in the city of Beacon.
That's in July.
Yeah,
They were busy that
That's in
night.
July.
Madison
Beacon,
Square Garden is
New York.
September.
Yep.
At the Yard.
If any of our listeners are entertainment lawyers that want to work pro bono to get me a special exemption performer's visa, then I could go to the live show too. But yeah, I don't want to figure that out by myself.
You're gonna still come and hang out, right? Or is that, that too frisky?
I don't think so.
Aw.
Yeah.
I think if there's pictures of him there, it kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, like if I like go there and I'm like, well, I can't go on stage. I'm shy.
Yeah.
I think
not
it's
gonna
really
pay
hard
you.
to prove that, like, if there's a bunch of
Yeah.
pictures of you there and you were there and you bought the plane tickets.
Yeah.
No, I actually wasn't doing it technically.
I didn't get paid.
Aaron will be reported to the ARS. That's what the Canadian one's called. Pretty
good.
It would be
It's
Whack.
EHRS.
It would be like Whack Nicholson or someone that reports them.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the bit where I'm like standing in front of the stage, but like I'm not performing. You can't kick me out of your country for 5 years. I didn't perform.
Holding your toe over the edge of it.
Yeah, so let's.
You're mic'd up for some reason in the crowd. You're just sitting there in like the 14th row, mic'd up.
Just talking into your shirt,
Yeah,
putting your shirt up and talking into like a
Yeah, we get a lapel mic.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, hello, Aaron in the 14th row. We have an interview for you. How do you sound today?
we're gonna pick someone out of the audience to come up on the stage today and perform along with us.
Someone in the audience. We have an interview for you. How do you sound today?
We're gonna give them 20% of the cut of tickets too. This is a, kickback to the
gift.
fans. Yeah.
Well,
The contest winner.
Yeah, there's a link for tickets for the show. I think we retweeted on the account. Should be pinned.
Probably could put it in the show description too. Make it easy
is
for
pinned,
the...
and we'll put it in the description.
Well, actually,
ad.
it's already there. It's already there by the time this recording comes out.
It's already there.
Guess
It's
what?
already
There, guys.
Guess what? It wasn't there when you started this episode, but it's now there now.
By the time you hear it, it's
Oh,
already there.
Well, it
You
isn't.
can't get mad at us.
No, it is now. It's there.
Well, now
it wasn't.
Now
but it
is now. This
Yeah.
comes out
right now.
2 days from now. So that's now.
No, it's
now
coming
is
out.
now.
No, I'm recording this. I'm live on Twitch right now. We're just recording
you
all of
serious?
this.
Are you playing Siege?
We're doing a live show right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just doing a live show. Yeah, I'm watching videos and playing Siege at the same time. We have a half screen, so we're testing out how to do a live show. So I figured, well, let me just record this and go live without telling anybody, and they didn't get any notifications to their phone. Is that a problem?
I think I'm going to sit with my back to the audience, so I can just feel like it's just us guys.
We're just gonna ask.
Oh, that's
We're gonna do for the live show. We're gonna have lights on us three, and then to complete darkness on Chet.
Yeah.
We're gonna
There's going to be a projector behind with RuneScape on it, so Jack can like farm trees and shit.
Hey, no wasted EXP.
Yeah, we just want everybody comfortable.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just no lights on Chet. He's not used to having lights on him. We're
All right.
gonna have a fridge behind
I'll
him.
work on it.
Go up halfway through. Get up.
The show's also at noon, so just make sure you wake up on time for it, Chet.
Yeah.
All right, look.
Well, we'll be
As long as
there.
I have my,
Don't tell him now. Tell him in 2 months. Remind him.
Yeah. But as long as I have my key, my keys aren't lost, and I'm not up until 3 a.m. looking for them.
Your
I think
keys
I'll be
weren't
fine.
lost. You were the lost one.
Well,
Yeah, your keys were found.
Yeah, they're in your car. They're in the ignition of your car.
yeah. Thanks for the jump, by the way, Michael.
Guys, they're going to take our press badge. They're going to take our press badge if they find out we're this unprofessional.
Hold up.
We'll pull it
So
together. Come
we
at
all
me,
know
Ed.
the story of Chet in Buffalo. He lost his keys. He kind of got fired for his job for it because it was like another time being late. There was like another
Strike two.
performance.
Quitting- he
Yeah,
was
strike
quitting
two.
anyway.
Freaked out. Had to sleep on the floor of my hotel because he couldn't get his keys to get back into his whole thing. And then you left the keys in the ignition of your car in downtown Buffalo and it was fine. Did you leave it like with the battery on?
Yeah, because I got there early and I turned the car off, but then I rolled the wind. I had to turn the battery on to roll the windows down because I was going to smoke some weed while I was waiting. And then I had to turn the battery on to roll the windows up, and I just got out of my car and just closed
Okay.
the door.
Well, listen, at that point, it was a security measure because you left your keys in your ignition anyway. Someone might have hopped in your car and been like, fuck.
There it is. I guess
you
that's
think
true.
about it was actually really smart.
Yeah.
If your car's going to get broken into, you don't want them to break the window because then you have to replace the window. You want them to be able to reach in and then just turn the keys because that way when
True.
you get it back, you have less repairs to do.
That was the Outback, right?
No, it was the Pontiac Vibe.
Vibe. Yeah.
You guys
same
went to the
thing, whatever.
Outback?
Yeah,
Oh, no wonder he was freaking out.
Yeah.
it's far.
I've been in that car, and I think I've said this before, but I'm not surprised no one wanted to steal it.
Yeah, no, and then
That's
car
another
was a-
security
I
measure.
also-
that car was a vibe.
if I don't have a passenger, there's always a lot of trash in the passenger's footwell. So they're
Yeah.
like, shit. If I'm gonna find something, I'm gonna have to dig through a lot of trash. I don't have time for that.
Oh yeah, I love sitting in the passenger seat where my feet are level with my butt because of all the trash on the ground.
Don't-
Oh,
He's got to
earlier today,
stomp down on some.
earlier
empty
today I was
cups.
driving and I noticed that there was a Kia in front of me and a Kia behind me, and I just felt really safe because if someone's going to do a carjacking, it's definitely not going to be me.
True.
No,
I
no.
am so
Yeah.
safe.
That's like
Yeah,
holding
you're
the shell
fine.
behind you on Mario Kart.
Yeah. I got this Kia trailing me. They're going to get distracted by those because you just have to press a button and you get to
Yeah,
be
you
in the
just
car.
open the door, and apparently you
Yeah.
can steal it so easily.
There's like a doggy door for car thieves. There's like a smaller door underneath it where you can just reach under and unlock the door. I don't know why they put that on.
I had a Kia for my rental car when my car was in the shop, and I'll tell you what, a lot nicer than my car is. But I smoked all my cigarettes in there, and I did not get feed
Nice.
for it. I didn't get feed for it. They were like, "Yep,
That's
all
what's
good."
up.
It was awesome. I felt like I got away with a crime. I was just like, hell yeah.
Wait, you rented a car and you were like, "Wow, they might smell it, but I'll just still smoke."
Well,
my
I stopped
cigarettes."
smoking like
You did that in a
3
hotel
days.
room?
No, a rental car.
Yeah, a rental car.
No, I know, but do you also do that in a hotel room?
No, people sleep
Yeah,
in
don't
there.
be absurd, Dallas.
Jesus,
Well,
man,
is
come
the
on.
cost difference that much different between smoking in a hotel room and smoking in a rental car?
Well, I think you get kicked out of the hotel for doing that, whereas you just get feed.
Sometimes.
But, like, the thing is, like,
Yeah, I guess they can't kick you out of the rental car. They have to wait until you bring it back.
We've never been caught smoking weed in our hotel room, but we're pretty good about it.
I have that millionaire mindset, like those guys who in the city who will just park their cars in handicap spaces and be like, fuck it, I'll pay the fine, who cares? Like, that's me with smoking cigarettes and the fees that you get from rental cars.
I will never do that because the other day there was a streamer that I forgot who it even was, but they parked and then they're like, "Oh shit, I'm in the handicap spot," and they moved one over. And literally 20 seconds after they moved their car, this dude pulls up with a wheelchair lift on his driver's side and no legs, and gets out of his car and wheels inside.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
would never
streamer was
pull.
No.
like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god,
No, those guys are dickheads.
so close."
Not me, though.
Yeah, where do you
it's
need to be
Smoking
so
in a
it's
rental car is a
crazy
victimless,
chance.
it's a victimless crime.
Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck about
Have
that.
you guys ever been shitting in a handicap stall and walk out and there's someone in a wheelchair waiting?
No, but
No.
I do get
Happened to
nervous
me
about
once.
that happening. Did they say
I
anything
was at
to
a
you?
hockey game and it was the only stall open.
Yeah.
The Saddle Dome, and then I came out.
That
Yeah.
happens.
Let me show you what to do when that happens next time. First, you stick your head out and look for if there's somebody in there. Well, first you probably be able to see the wheels.
Just limp out.
So what you're gonna do? Yeah, what you're gonna do is when you get done wiping, you're gonna fall out of the stall and say, "Who the fuck took my chair?"
This guy's playing around. This guy with one leg is playing around, fucking around with my wheelchair.
What you could do is slide under into the next stall over and then just walk out of there.
That's smart.
And he might not be able to see you.
Or just
You
slide,
go under the stall.
just slide all the way and make sure he can see you. And he's like, "Well, he wasn't walking." You're just pushing
Come out
yourself,
of there, just
pushing yourself like a slug on your back with your feet.
Oh, you know how it should work? I think the wheelchair should have a hole in the middle where you
I was
sit,
already thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
you just position it over the toilet, and then just shit down, and then just wheel
Yeah.
away. I think that's how it should be.
It's like those old pajamas with the butt flap, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have a butt flap.
they should bring
and
those
they should
back.
also have to wear long johns.
I'm wearing those right now with the flap open on my chair. It's so nasty.
I wear the flap on the front. I call
keep
these
farting.
my fapping pants because I
Wearing
have the flap on the
open
front.
and just sitting on your chair is so outlaw. Leaving a fucking print there.
Sounds like
leaving a stain.
Sounds like Velcro, where your skin's coming off the leather.
his Hoffrey would get stuck to him now and peel off right away.
Yeah, that wonderful gaming chair he paid $250 for.
I love to assemble a chair and go, "Cool, it plugs in 2 places."
Yeah, like for people that are exclusively podcast listeners, that Outlaw chair video is something else on Sunday. He got this like $250 gaming chair off of Amazon, and he did like a Patreon video that was somehow leaked to us. Yeah, it's got not one but 2 USB plugins. One to just make it fucking vibrate on his ass, and then the second one is for LED lights that light up behind the chair. So there's like 2 fucking cords coming out of his gamer chair for him to run over the wheel.
There's speakers.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
too,
and there's a Bluetooth speaker in it too.
which is
That's
exactly
so
what you'll need when
annoying,
you're at your
man.
computer with a headset on.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, and he doesn't-
Ah.
Like I said it on the stream, but he doesn't play PC games at all. He doesn't sit in front of that computer unless he's streaming. And when he's
Yeah.
streaming, he's only using the computer for OBS because he's playing on the PS5.
Yeah, he's just using a capture
What
card.
So-
were his memorable lines from that one, Michael? I was trying to remember yesterday and I just couldn't.
He said, "I'll let Nick deal with the power tools. He's good at that stuff." Then there was a 30-second pause, and he goes, "I'm the computer expert."
Yeah.
Which is great because this is a man who plays his Switch games on stream through OBS, looking at the OBS screen to play it.
Yeah, that's wild to me, man. It's
Yeah.
just looking at
That's how he
himself
played
and
He
doing
Portal.
all
doesn't,
that.
Well, I
too.
think
he doesn't even do the pop-out capture. He's just looking at the screen as big as it can get.
I think
it's
he
like
does
playing
have
a
it on the
fucking
TV with
Game
those.
Gear on his computer. What'd you say?
I think he does have it on the TV with those, but with Portal, he was playing it through OBS because he doesn't have 2 monitors.
Oh my god.
He can't afford a second monitor because he has to buy 4 pizzas at a baseball game to film it.
Chat, that'd
Do
be
you
a
know
great
how-
challenge, winning a CSGO game while playing through OBS.
No,
only.
that's giving me flashbacks trying to figure out how to record a Halo montage when I was 14. Getting like a 3-second, plugging all my shit in and being really excited, and then like starting to play through the preview monitor and having like a full 2-second delay. I'm like, fuck!
What's really annoying about that, the idea of that he has to look through like OBS is like, why would like another monitor would be $100 on like a capture card,
So,
Or less.
if less than that.
My second monitor was $40 at Goodwill.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
Way
not
less than
remember,
that.
Mr. Computer Expert, not even a minute after saying I'm the computer expert, starts bragging about the new overlay package he purchased for OBS.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
it's like a GIF basically. You're buying a JPEG and some GIFs, and
Yeah.
it goes over your stream, and then you put the last sub, which is nobody, the last bit donator, which is nobody. So it's just default text here, default text here.
But like, what I don't understand, like, I get that if you're like buying that from somebody who has customized it for you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're like, okay, like the same as like getting emotes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like someone, oh, I made these like emotes for your channel. Like, okay, cool, awesome. But like, you're just buying the default overlays. Like, you can just do a text. You don't need to
Yeah,
purchase.
you can
that.
make
Like,
it. You can just put a JPEG on there. You use
can search-
Streamlabs. It's built in. They give you the chat box. They give you the recent subs, the alert
You can
box.
type it in as a text.
Yeah, you can even search themes on like people have free ones that you can just also
Yeah.
copy.
Pages and pages and pages.
Yeah,
of
they're
free
just
ones.
default layouts, but that wouldn't be good enough because you have to pay for it. That's the thing. You have to pay money to get the feeling like you're getting better at a creative thing. You don't actually want to practice or get better at it or read a book or something. You just want to spend $10 and then say, well, I did something. I worked toward my goal
good.
of being a celebrity for playing video games.
He only knows how to spend money.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of people are like that. There are people who they know how to play one chord on guitar, but every day they buy a new guitar pedal. Because that's going to be the difference. Because it's way easier to just buy something on the computer than it is to spend an hour doing tedious practice.
Another good outlaw thing the whole time was him being the little kid watching his dad assemble his new bike, not really helping and always holding like a part that he doesn't need at the time. And God, so many good things. Like when he rubbed his entire face and goes, "I know, face rub. Sorry, scratchy nose." Scratchy
He
nose.
acknowledges it, but it makes so little sense. Like he has to touch like the top of his head and his neck to itch his nose. He has to like get his fingers around his ears in the back of his head to itch his nose for some reason. And he knows it's insane, but he just says, "Well, face rub, doing the face rub on here, rubbing my
Gotta do it."
entire face with both hands to itch my nose."
The scratchy nose. Sorry.
Scratch it with the nose on
And then-
here.
And then he had his leg bent up at one point. His shorts were all hiked up, and he goes, "Oh, haha, my leg's showing." But don't. It's a Patreon. Don't worry, Nick. Even though Brian didn't say anything. And then right after that, he goes, "What if they make fun of me on that?" And then he said my favorite quote of it goes, "What if they make a video on that?" And he said it so funny. Video on that.
Yeah, what if? It has happened. It's not like a what if thing, like, what if someone finds my video where I'm acting stupid and makes fun of me? Well, that's happened.
Yeah,
That's
it's
happened many
continued to
times
happen.
for years now.
It's-
And I think
actually,
you
it's
know
been
what would
5
happen.
years now.
I think what would happen is everybody just says your videos suck and you're stupid, and then you continue spending a bunch of your own money and making your wife hate you.
My favorite thing is how he. My favorite thing is how he said, or how within like 3 minutes of them starting to assemble the chair, they used a hammer.
oh god.
Yeah, to put the wheels in the chair. You just pop them in.
Oh,
I forgot Tom hasn't seen it
I forgot
yet.
about that.
I meant to watch it. I meant to watch it
Ugh.
last week, but I ended up not doing a video stream. So I'm gonna.
You know,
Every
after
time-
this, I'm
oh,
going
yeah.
to
You know it's an
and-
all timer because we were like, we were like it was like the third video we had in the feed, and I think Michael put it in. He's like, "Yeah, we just watched a little bit of it. It's crazy. Maybe we'll watch it."
It's 34 minutes, and we watched the whole thing.
Then we watched the whole. We didn't play our fourth
Yeah.
video until like 45 minutes.
I mean,
into the stream.
he kept saying the stupidest shit.
Man, it was amazing.
They also sped up their own
that's
parts like
interesting.
several times. Like,
And it's still
Yeah,
34
it's still 34
minutes.
Still
minutes.
34 minutes.
It's a two-man job in 34 minutes.
remind you, this is an assembly that is just Allen keys.
Yeah.
That's all.
No
Yeah,
drill
that's-
required.
Like most
I've
chairs.
gotten a chair. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've gotten
Everyone's done one
a
of these.
fucking
They suck.
shitty ass gaming chair.
Don't just
Yeah.
go on Amazon and type in gamer chair and get the first one. Don't
No, you
even
get
if
the one with the
even if
LED
you're a
lights, the
gamer.
Bluetooth speaker, and the
that's true.
massage vibrating ass, so your nuts can
That
go
is-
numb as you're gaming.
The Hoffrey Love Ends, someone donates 50 bits and it goes on his ass for 20 seconds.
I like the idea. I like the idea of like throwing off, like just intentionally ruining something you're recording because your chair keeps playing the audio into your mic.
Well, okay, so Outlaw, like I was thinking about it, and the Bluetooth speaker in his gamer chair is actually kind of smart because on his gaming streams, he has the sound from the game coming out of the speaker, which is being picked up by his mic, and then it's also playing through OBS,
Yeah.
so it always like echoes, and there's two like game audio sources.
Mhm.
So that'll just kind of be like par for the course with his whole setup, right? Like,
Oh yeah, he can connect that to his phone. So when he pulls out his phone and he's watching a walkthrough on how to install
Yeah.
a game or how to beat the tutorial in Zelda, when he has to pull up YouTube and say, "All right, step-by-step walkthrough on how to play tutorial on children's game," and then he just lets it play and it's like, "All right, so episode 1 of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So here's what the buttons do," and he's just sitting there watching that for like 20 minutes. That could come out of the Bluetooth speaker.
I'm not kidding when I say that Hoffrey gaming chair, the one he bought, I think, like the actual link is still like probably the same price, but every other instance of it on Amazon is at least $50 cheaper than what he paid. I don't know how he clicked that link. That must have been the sponsored link.
Maybe he. God, who fucking knows? I still
It's like
love
the same thing that would happen if he tried to buy drugs.
Yeah,
There would be an outlaw price.
I think still one of the
Outlaw
funniest.
tax.
One of the funniest videos he's made is him in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom in that I think it's the first shrine, and he can't figure out, and he spends hours doing it, and then like disappears for like 10 minutes and comes back and is able to do it.
He just silently
like,
knows
no
everything
problem.
to do.
And not speaking, like he just is like, oh yeah, I knew this whole
That's
time.
such a cool big brother move.
There was
I'll go
one
take
where-
a shit.
There was one time where he just turned the cam off entirely, and it was clear that he was just playing a walkthrough. And it's like, why the fuck are you even doing this? You have to use a walkthrough for the tutorial? Like, just don't do this. Why? Don't even spend money on the. Just go jack
Turn on
off.
somebody else's gameplay footage on YouTube and go walk away.
Yeah, go do literally anything else because like a 3-year-old could do that better than you, and you don't
That's such a
enjoy
funny
doing
bit.
it.
Just putting up a long play video and acting like it's you for hours.
Yeah, like a fake speed run, but it's not even a speed run. It's just me
there's
me
so
playing
many-
Zelda and beating it in under 80 hours. You're like cheating
Yeah,
and
there's-
splicing footage to do that.
that's what happened when the Go Off Kings did Siege. They pretended it was Jesse playing, but it was actually a screen cap of Nick Taylor in like the same lobby or whatever, and everyone was freaking out because like Jesse was doing so
hitting
well at
shots and
Siege.
stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good bit.
Chet, have you ever sold weed to like an outlaw?
I never sold weed. I I mean, I thought-
You mean
yeah,
Yeah, he meets
illegally.
at the store.
I thought you worked at
I'm
a
in Ohio
dispensary for the
though.
last couple of
Ohio.
years.
Shut up! I'm in Ohio. No, I thought you meant like illegally.
Anyone I sold weed to in Ohio would be an outlaw. It's
Damn.
against the law.
This
I've been the
man is prepared to be back in Ohio.
Alex, we gotta edit that part out, please.
Instant denial.
Do I suffer sold like an outlaw? I mean, probably. I mean, yeah. No one in particular made me think, oh, this guy's
Like
an
a
outlaw.
guy who just came in fiddling with his own fingers and all nervous,
Yeah.
looking like he's buying fucking coke.
Yeah.
And it's like, chill out, man.
Yeah, no, I've had, there's weird guys like that. I think the weirdest, I did have, no, this guy was different, but I did have a guy who just had a close up of a pussy as his phone background. I don't know if I
that's
ever,
cool.
I don't know if I ever told that story.
How'd
but
he get
he
a
was
picture of you?
It was
I was about to say that's a mirror, actually.
all right, all right.
How do you get that mirror?
Okay, let's settle down. Yeah, but he smelled weird, and he always had his hands in his pockets and nervously talked, I guess. But
Mhm.
I don't think outlaws. I think outlaws asexual, honestly. So
I think food makes him come.
Yeah.
If his stomach gets full enough, it starts to touch his prostate.
Was it like a nice looking pussy, Chet?
That's a difficult question to answer because
Probably
I've never
didn't see it
seen
too
one.
well.
No,
Unless you were like, dude, let me see that. Bro,
But,
can
like,
I borrow your phone for 5 minutes?
like I'm talking like the top of the screen was the clit and the bottom was like before
Also,
before you even got
classy.
to, it was like just like a super
Was
close
it
up.
spread?
It was one of them.
Yeah.
It was one of them classy joints.
Well, and then he stopped using it when this is my favorite part, the detail about it, because I'm sure somebody was like, "Hey man, you got to change your phone background. That's obscene." And
So he changes it to some tits?
No, he changes it just to the generic default background. Like he's like, well, that's the only thing I care and like about. I guess I'll just go back to the default, whatever. Like you couldn't just screenshot like a picture of like a fucking lion or something like that, or a cool rainbow.
Respect. Look at my background.
You just can't even think of another picture that you like.
Yeah,
That's so
just
funny.
like it's just,
I'm such an NPC with my default phone backgrounds all the time.
Tom is my
That's a
phone
pretty good
background.
bit.
Well,
Oh,
Devin's
did you just
my
get that?
background.
No.
No.
Oh, look at
There
that.
for 3 years.
That's a text from Jake.
Wow.
I got a text from Jake.
I can't see it with your...
Oh, Jake texted you. That's
That's
nice.
a podcast,
great.
anyways.
He
I
doesn't
don't know why
text
I'm
me.
holding my phone up for people to see.
Yeah,
And basically,
humble brag also.
it's a picture of Devin taking off a Yoda mask from a video Devin did a while ago. It was
Yeah, Devin did. I don't know why you said
I
me.
corrected
I don't know
myself.
what you're talking about.
You
What
guys
do you mean a
just-
mask?
Yeah. Well, the Yoda mask.
Yeah, the Yoda mask.
The Yoda
Oh,
mask was
okay.
a mask, but Devin
That was a
just
mask.
wearing
Devin
the
is just
mask.
a
yeah.
man.
Yoda.
Devin was a real guy.
Devin pulling off a Yoda
was
mask.
just dead.
People are like, "What is that background, man?" I was, don't worry about
it
it.
certainly wouldn't basically be impossible to wear anything like that with the eyes falling off and it's all torn up. Hey, he's been through it. He deserves all the rest he can
Poor
get.
Devin.
Have you sold weed to anyone famous at the dispensary?
No. But
Cheech?
one time I walked
Chomp?
by some guys. but the
Snoop
word,
Dogg?
Snoop.
honestly,
Snoop Dogg goes to the dispensary, gets an eighth. What's up, guys?
no, the
Free-roll.
John Belushi had like a deal with his fucking Blues Brothers or whatever his weed was, but it was like with the
called
tackiest,
the Doobs
corniest
Brothers?
chain.
He's
We
called
had
the Doobie Brothers, and he's currently in a legal battle.
we had these little Wayne carts that had their own shitty, stupid battery. That in the 2 years that I was there, I never sold it. No one sold a single one. They were all collecting
That's
dust.
awesome.
The tape, we would have to like masking tape the plastic thing back into the cardboard sleeve to hang it. But then they would get so dusty that the tape would give, and they would just keep falling out because nobody bought them.
Those were the Bido honeys.
Yeah,
Of
right.
cards.
They called them like Jaqua or something like that. I don't even know what GKUA or something. I don't know. It's stupid.
I wonder what's the least bought candy at like a normal like liquor store or like party store type situation. Bido honey's got to be up there, but I've also seen people that were like daily Bido honey buyers. So
Necco
it
wafers.
goes both ways. No, because
Big
I like
Turk,
those. So
Good
in
and
my head,
Plenty.
they can't be. I'm such a dude. I used to love Good and Plenty, and then one day I was like, these are so gross.
I love Good and Plenty actually because I love licorice. Like,
No, that's fine. I just
yeah.
for the sensation of that texture candy, there were so many better flavors out there, like just straight up Mike and Ike's.
Yeah,
So I'm
but
sure
I
they're
like the
Good and
licorice.
Plenties, and I'm like, I think I like drooled a little bit, and it was black, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, some of those candies, it's like, man, if I'm eating candy, it should be better than this.
Well, the worst
Yeah,
ones at the liquor
what am I,
store
European?
are those wax bottles full of sugary syrup.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Those are
yeah.
Who are
vlogs.
those for?
You know what the
Those
worst?
are
The
vlogs
worst
candies, bro.
Actually, the vlogs candies are those little like sugar dots on a piece of paper,
Oh,
and then you have
I
to
was just
bite
thinking
those
about
off.
those the other day. Vlogs would brag by rolling
Just
up the
eating
entire
paper.
paper and eating the entire thing and sucking on it.
Do you guys have the one that's like a little, like, colorful, like a bright primary colored trash can that you don't really know what's in it? Because who's going to buy the trash pail candy?
No.
No, other than there was like a sour one that
Get
would
the
sometimes
Band-Aid
come in.
tin.
With, yeah,
Trash
The
can
Band-Aid?
candy.
The ouch Band-Aid tin with the bubblegum pieces in it.
mm-hmm. No,
That tin
the
was
paper.
cool. That was great for
I hated the
weed later on.
paper. I hated the paper one so much because you just ate paper. Anytime
Yeah.
you like tried
Those
to
were
like,
so gross.
pick it off or bite it off, it was
the
so
feral kids that lived
frustrating.
across the street from us in Guam, the fucking don't worry, they weren't like locals or anything. They were just neglected Air Force kids.
Mhm.
They would go fucking nuts for those candies, and they would have like Kool-Aid mustaches, but all over their face, or whatever the candy, like the bright pink and the greens and shit. And I was so grossed out, and there's all the wet fucking paper. That shit sucks.
So weird. Nasty,
Fuck
man.
those.
I just put it in our little chat here. It might just be Canadian, but yeah, it's called garbage candy.
I've seen those. We have a store that sells like coffee crisps and stuff, and they sell a bunch of like over the border candy. I've seen those before.
It looks like what's inside is like the it's like a Valentine's heart, but it's shaped like fish or bones or like garbage or something.
Yeah. Like little hard sugar pieces.
Yeah, fuck that.
Shouts out candy.
Yeah, it sucks. Candy rocks, but some candy.
You know, some of the best candy ever, but then other flavors of it are some of the worst candy ever. Pez.
Ooh, Pez are good.
Pez can be some of the best and the worst, though.
If Pez was so good, they wouldn't have to make the dispensers.
True.
It's style over substance.
Dude, what about a Pez where you can smoke weed out of it? You go open a Pez dispensary.
Oh, I like that one a lot, too. That one,
okay.
That's into my interests. Whenever I think about Pez, I think about 9/11 because my second grade social studies teacher collected Pez dispensers, and he had them lining the top of the chalkboard around the whole classroom.
That's a cool teacher collection.
And then that's when he pulled the TV out and we started watching 9/11 happen.
He had to take down his Osama bin Laden Pez dispenser.
He had 2 Pez dispensers that were twin towers, and he had to knock them over.
They fell.
Yeah, they fell. The second he turned on the TV, they fell, and it was crazy. And there was another one that was a plane. There was actually a kid that threw a paper airplane at that exact moment and actually hit both of the twin towers, and they fell over.
And a third paper airplane fell in Mrs. Shanksville's class.
And I heard the teacher knew about the whole thing the whole time.
I think we've talked about what we did on 9/11 like three or four times on the pod, but that was such a bizarre day.
I didn't do shit.
It was. I was in school.
I've already talked about what I did. I watched the news all day until I got sick of it. Then I went and punted a football back and forth to myself for like 2.5 hours.
Hell yeah.
We were in, it was 6th grade, and then I remember after the first plane hit, like some of my friends were making jokes about it, and then that second plane hit, and then everyone was like, "Oh, I don't think we're allowed to make jokes about it." And then I remember there was a prayer service afterwards, and I was like, I'm not going to that shit. And then my mom made me go to that shit, and I just remember sitting there being like, "No, I don't want to be at home playing video games."
I was 13. I saw the girl that I liked at church the next day, like a church event, like September 12th, 2001. And I just had one of those like, so stuff's pretty crazy, huh?
I famously was I got up early for school that day, so I had time to watch TV before getting ready. And I put on the one channel that wasn't covering, because I was like Pacific time, right? I put on the one channel that wasn't covering it, which was Men TV, which was like kind of a Canadian version of Spike TV, and they were doing the alien autopsy. You remember that? And then my dad came up, and I had to like put on, because he watched the news every morning before work, and we switched it over, and it was like right after the second plane hit. And then I remember I went to school and played basketball and was like, I hope Limp Bizkit makes a song that like takes down these terrorists. Hope Limp Bizkit can be racist about this.
I also remember, like, now that I hear stories, people are like, "Oh, my parents like pulled me from school, or they like let us go," and I just remember being like, "Can I go home?" Like, I lived like 5 houses away from my school.
Doxed.
Like,
no, they're gonna
please
get you.
let us go. Please let us go. I just want to go home and play video games.
I think all of you guys would have been affected by it, but except Aaron, obviously, but 2 summers later, August 2003, we had the Eastern Seaboard blackout. Where
that
the
was
power
crazy.
went out.
That was
that was cool and fun though. After at least once we knew what happened, it was kind of whatever, and it kind of became like a big party in our neighborhood like the entire time.
Yeah, it's like when they invented hip hop.
Yeah,
when there was that blackout and they all had it was sort of like that, but for white people.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember going to the theater to see Dave Chappelle's Black Party. Guy thinks it's called Black Party. Yeah, they had a black party. Everyone was there. No, but the blackout, I remember right when it happened. Like my parents included, but like everyone on our street was like, "Yep, here fucking goes again. These fucking terrorists. God damn it! Not our fucking infrastructure. Couldn't be so funny."
Yeah, like why would they even do that?
I watched a long ass video on like what caused that recently. It's pretty interesting.
Because we had just moved to a new house, and like we didn't know anybody, and so then like the power goes out, and we're just kind of stuck. And then everyone just kind of comes out because it was like August, and like everyone is outside and like in the street just hanging out. Once you kind of figured out like, oh, it's not like a terrorist attack, everyone was like, all right, let's just chill. Maybe grill up some stuff. I don't know. And it just became sort of like a street block. Yeah, like you said, a block party. So we actually got to know neighbors because of that.
Dude, there's still somebody that I'm friends with. Actually, he's one of our chatters. I was already on a forum posting with him when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Tricky Burrito from chat. Shout out Colin. I've known him for that long now.
That was another time where I was just like pissed that I didn't have power. So I couldn't just hang out in my basement and play video games for like 8 hours in the summer.
Yeah, it sucks. You fucking missed precious hours of your childhood that you'll never get back.
Yeah, it's just like just like COVID.
I was outside all day at that point, like in my life. Console time for me was hard to find. We had a PS2 or whatever. Yeah, at that point.
PS2.
And but my brothers would usually be using it. So I'd be outside all day, but the best part of being outside all day is coming home at night and then gaming and whatever.
Yeah,
you come home to the dark house with no fucking. We didn't have AC, but no box fan blowing on you.
Mm-hmm. I was just never allowed to game, and so when I did, it was like okay, like I'm just gonna do this all day.
Yeah,
and I think there's correlation because like I just wanted to do it all the time, so I was just like not allowed to do it most of the time. But I would just stay up especially in the summer. In the summer, my parents were a lot like August is like right before school starts, and then soccer hasn't started, so they're like whatever, just fucking do whatever you want as long as you're like preschool, like you're reading.
Yeah, get your reading done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I always read. I didn't do homework, but I read. So I was like, all right, reading's over. This is easy. Let me just game all day. I was talking with my wife today, because when we're going to Japan, we were looking at like there's a sumo restaurant where like they do sumo in front of you and like they like get you a meal and everything. But it was just sick. It was so tight, but it's like too expensive. Like I don't want to spend all that money, and it's like 2 hours. And I was like, I don't know if I just want to like do like be locked down like that.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a big part of your day.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's cool, and like I get why it's expensive because you're doing this show. And then she was saying, because she's from Orlando and they have the medieval times there, and she's like, I was supposed to go when I was like in 5th grade, but I was like super sick, and I was just like brokenhearted over missing like a field trip. And I just was like, I'd be so happy to miss a field trip or any day of school and just stay home and play video games.
Dude,
that's so fucking bullshit. They won't let you go to medieval times because you're sick. What were medieval times like? Everybody had the plague. Everybody was sick. Water had poop
2003,
in it.
Also, for when the blackout was, that would have been one of the most Tom video game eras. That was Madden 04, Pokemon Ruby Sapphire, Wind Waker, Vice City, Double Dash. Enter the Matrix, Medal of Honor Rising Sun, and NCAA 04 were all out.
Yeah, NCAA. I had
Final
Medal
Fantasy
of
X2.
Honor. Not X2, but I was just playing 10.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah, I only had 10.
That was also right before I got the Game Boy Advance in 2003 for my birthday in September. So it was like a month before I got the Advance. So I just had the Game Boy, but I was probably still playing Dynasty Warriors 3 and then putting in Final Fantasy 10. Not allowed to have Grand Theft Auto yet. Not until I was in high school.
I remember that year specifically seeing a AR-15 shaped guy looking at this game's cover for like 10 straight minutes at a store.
Oh, nice.
Final Fantasy X2.
So in love.
Wait a minute. Are all three of those chicks?
It's a legendary cover.
Which one of those are chicks?
That's actually the most misogynistic I've ever been in my life. When I was 12 and that game came out, and I was like, man, I don't want to play the game where it's just chicks.
Yeah, it's fucking gay.
But I've grown from there, and it's a very fun.
Yeah, then
game.
you realize you can look at their butt.
Yeah, I was slightly older than Tom, so by then I would go to my friend's house who had the Dreamcast, and he'd be like, "Want to play this?" I'm like, "Oh, did you say Dead or Alive Volleyball?" Yes, sir. Yes, we are playing that the whole time I'm here.
Yeah, that must have been so sick before you could get porno on the internet.
Yeah,
I could already, but it was even sicker.
The guys who are still playing those games, like the horny guys who play those volleyball games, what are you doing?
Those are cool.
Who's buying those?
It was a pretty fun game,
actually
though.
Jacking off to it.
Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they just like volleyball.
You could just use your imagination at that point. It's probably going to be better, right?
I guess there isn't really a volleyball game where they're all fully clothed. Maybe there should be. There should be a Christian volleyball game where they're all wearing like a dress that goes down to the ground.
We stopped playing DOA volleyball at his house when Soccer Slam came out for GameCube. That was the game that was like Strikers before Strikers.
Mm-hmm.
So good. It was Sega.
I never had any of that crap because I was a geek. I didn't have sports games.
Loser.
I had to rely on the Richies for that.
Yeah, I at that point it was like 2 games a year, birthday and Christmas, and I always had to
and they always fucking
carefully
sucked.
choose them.
They don't tell you that like the PS2, none of the good games were rated E. There were just like with Nintendo, you can get the good first party games, but with the PlayStation, all the good games are T or M. And since parents are stupid, they're like, oh, you can't play a game with a cuss word in it. You can't play a game where there's like no nudity and they use words that are like less than the kids in 4th grade use on the playground. So you just have like Crash Bandicoot and Jack and Daxter.
That's when it was good to have so many siblings.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even have to ask for certain games for my birthday. Because Andrew would have his birthday first, then he would ask for it. I'm like, right.
That's
now
nice.
I can get a skateboard.
No, that was the worst part was just like, and then I was being dumb and I would get like NBA 2K every Christmas and be like, I kind of
it's a sure thing. Like a sequel to another game I like. And like there was just like I wish I had played all the Metal Gear games back then because they were around, or like Resident Evil 4. But who was going to get me those games? Great, and like, how would I have known that those were the good ones?
We're talking like 2004, right?
Roughly. Yeah, 3, 4.
I was playing.
304.
I was PC Master Race at the time, and I played the NHL games in the most insane way possible with like a joystick for flight sims. Because like my dad had one dating from like I don't know way back, and so I just got used to like playing Shell on like a fucking joystick. And then eventually it was like KOTOR, and my uncle had he had like a cracked PlayStation 1 that he like he was just playing on like exclusively PC, but he had like a bunch of burned games, but it was all just like JRPGs. So I would get like
you could never find those.
Like I played like Guardians Crusade, which I played on stream during the pandemic. I got really into that one because there was like 3D modeling and good graphics, but like Suikoden and the Secrets of Mana or whatever, I'd like plug it in and be like, these graphics suck. It's not as good as my computer. And like I eventually like went back and played Suikoden on it like when I was like 18. I was like, this shit fucking rocks. What was I thinking? But
you just could not find those games anywhere. Like if you look at a list of the best PS1 games, none of those were for sale. You couldn't find them. You go to the store, it was like Madden 96 and Tomb Raider in Crash Bandicoot. They didn't have any Final Fantasy. They didn't have any
That's all we
shit.
needed. The classics.
See, because like the actual first game I ever bought for my PS2 was Final Fantasy VII, and I was so excited to play Final Fantasy VII on my own. That was one of my favorite moments because all my friends had it, and like we would go over to people's house and just like our sleepover was watching someone else play Final Fantasy VII.
I remember there was a kid who had it. And like, how did you get your dad to buy that many CDs for your PlayStation? Like my dad would have bet what's 4 discs. It costs more? What?
I remember coming back from Bosnia and I had bought Doom for PlayStation 2 when I was over there, and I think it's the wrong codec. It was like the EU codec. So I'm like, fuck, this sucks.
Lock.
Yeah.
But then my friend Mark, who's Albanian's like, oh, you just need an Albanian PlayStation. This will work on mine, and it did. I was like, oh shit.
Region locking is so stupid. Why did they ever do that?
I don't know, man. Like especially because the handhelds weren't. Like up until I think the DS, like Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, none of those are region locked. Now the Switch is not region locked. So that's nice, but like, there's
weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it had to do with the actual TV hardware, like the NTSC versus PAL.
I don't know.
I think it's like the Tower of Babel, where they didn't want us to like get too powerful.
That's true.
Playing each
it's
other's
fucking
games.
bullshit. What's the point of globalized economies if you can't use a CD from a different country? What's the point of all this?
The original PS1. You could easily jailbreak. I think it was like the spring, like you could like pop it open and like you could play anything in there. But then they really locked it down with the PS2. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, and
the
Dreamcast was the real easy one because I don't think you even had to hack the system itself. I think there was a disc that you could use to boot it up, and then you could burn the discs. But then the problem was there aren't really that many Dreamcast games. There are like 4 good ones.
Yeah,
you could put in in the Dreamcast, you could put in like a Cores CD, then you could play as them in this game called the Cores where it's fighting.
You can do that
shit
with
up like that about the Dreamcast.
with Monster Hunter, right?
Yes, Monster Hunter was where you would put in different CDs and movies, and you would get like a monster, or Monster Rancher, Monster
Rancher, yeah,
yeah, Monster Rancher.
Monster Hunter, you put in a DVD, and then you have to fight whatever characters are from that DVD.
You have to fight Jim Carrey from Liar Liar for 20 minutes.
I just put in the Grinch. I'm farming Grinch parts.
Fighting Jim Carrey in 10 different forms. It's like a boss fight.
I put in Simon Birch. That's easy as fuck. Fucking stomped his little ass.
Bruce Almighty though, that's the final form because that's God.
Yeah, that's tough.
You don't want to fight him as Bruce Almighty because he can pull out like the lightning strikes and he can do whatever.
The Bruce Almighty scene where he's hearing everyone's prayers at once. It sounds like the Tezande TF2 stream.
Oh, Mike, I think we might have even talked about this, but being from a religious background, did you have parents that were like, "Well, you can see Bruce Almighty because it's godly. It's okay."
Because that's the movie I lost my virginity to. So I was already doing whatever I wanted at that point. Not like in the theater, but it was on the hotel TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, and there was just like very strict parents, but they're like, "Well, this
I remember
is like
them
presenting
being like
God
that. It was
like
blasphemy.
in a positive." See, that's funny because ours was like, "Oh, they were looking for a reason to like actually go see a movie and like enjoy something."
We had the fucking our church, like we had a lot of normal Catholics there that just like the aesthetics of a traditional church, and that's pretty much how my parents were.
Yeah.
And then we had the fucking families that were basically like Israeli settlers, like the denim skirts down to the floor, and all the girls with the fucking hair down to their like the middle of the, like or basically down to their ass, and all the boys had like the skin of a cave shrimp because for some, even though they're always outside, they like are never tan somehow because they're just all malnutrition. Horrible.
We don't believe in vitamin D.
You don't need it. Vitamin G, G-O-D.
Yeah, vitamin G-O-D. That's all you need.
So many of those families, like, as predicted, produce some of the weirdest fucking adults.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
One of them was a set of twins that shot his entire family, including their dog.
A set of twins, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I get why people want to protect their kids from the world and all the evils of the world and protect them. But the problem is they're just going to have to experience it either way. But then that way they're really stupid and confused by it, and everyone tricks them.
That's the other move is the fucking, especially this is what homeschoolers do. Homeschool parents love to brag and say, "Oh, my kid's going to school next year and she's only 17." And then they go to Steubenville or Ave Maria, and then they get fucking pregnant their first semester.
Yeah.
And then they can't do anything about it because they're traditional Catholic and abortion's not a real word.
Well, they get married.
Yeah, so then they get married to this fucking dude who got them pregnant. Yeah.
some guy who just lost his virginity watching Bruce Almighty.
Yeah, this fucking exactly.
Like, oh well, I guess I got to be a man now. I graduated from high school 2 months ago, but
yeah. Listen, I was 20. Okay, I waited till my 20s out of respect.
I was 7. I lost my virginity at Toy Story. My uncle brought me. We only had one seat.
I was eating the pussy on the way out.
1 hour.
I hate guys like that. My aunt fucked me. My aunt raped me when I was 6. Damn, Lucky.
That's the man.
Facebook
those
guys,
threads.
man.
I got my aunt pregnant when I was a baby.
Where they're just they're like, "Man, my babysitter was 25 and I was 11. This is fucking dope."
And I made her squirt.
There were these babysitters when I was a kid.
My babysitter breastfed me when I was 9. Cool, man.
I want to have some lasting trauma.
Can you harm me?
I wish I could just be 7 again and just have some horrible shit done to me.
Yeah.
By someone I barely knew and my parents told me I could trust.
I wish I was 7 and getting laid, man.
Yeah, I wish I was getting...
I like to piss those guys off too when they're like, "Where were these teachers when I was in school?" I was like, "You were fat and you stunk. Look at that swag."
Yeah.
This teacher
they were
wasn't
sucking
gonna
off
fuck
the hot
you.
guy on the football team. Sorry.
Not you.
My
You're sucking the Giga Chad.
Dude, your teachers were fucking the kids all day, dude. Everybody got fucked but you. I promise.
Except for
everybody.
you,
Those guys get so mad when you do that to them. When they're like, "Where were these teachers?" Just reply to guys like that. When you see them on Twitter being like, "Where were these teachers when I was in school?" Be like, "They were fucking the Giga Chad." Like, no.
My first time getting sucked off, I was just about to turn 17. I was in 11th grade, and this girl was coming back from second year of university on like Christmas break. And at the time, I remember thinking, oh, I'm the fucking man. I got so much riz. I'm so cool. And then, like, I mean, we had mutual friends, obviously. And they were, like, cautioning me and saying, like, I know you think this is cool, but, like, it probably isn't that. It's probably not good. Like, you shouldn't get. And I'm like, no, I'm the fucking man. And then, like, thinking back on it now as, like, an adult, and even at the time when I was, like, 21, not 21. How old would you be in your second year of uni?
1920.
Yeah. This is,
24 for me.
I guess it's not like a crazy like age gap, but like in terms of like maturity level and like where you are at life, it's like pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing even if two people go to two different colleges. You just can't make that work. You can't have like a long distance relationship where one person's in college in the dorms and one person's back in high school or one person's back in their hometown. Because they're just, both people are going to conclude, I can just date somebody else.
Isn't it really fun to drag it out? There's nothing like staying up all night when you're supposed to be getting up for class and shit, like talking on the phone, you know, and crying and driving.
Yeah, you can't not
driving
to
like 14 hours round trip every weekend.
Yeah. Time to start my adult life with a bunch of attachments back to my high school life
exactly.
that are going to just like distract from my new life.
It's worth it.
Yeah, I want to come into college with some baggage.
All right, let's get you
pregnant. I want to start over as the old
Let's get you pregnant before I leave.
Yeah, I want to make sure I have some kids before I go to college. So there's a reason to learn.
That's true.
All right, Chet, how'd you lose your virginity?
Very quickly.
Line at Cedar Point.
Yeah, no, I was just like drunk at a party or something.
That's boring.
Wait, when you said very quickly, do you think that like you don't lose your virginity until you nut?
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true.
That was more of a joke that I just didn't last very long. It was a quick session, but
I know.
But yeah, well, thanks for breaking it down. But yeah,
great.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't really do any work. Like this girl, she's just like, "I want you to fuck me," and I'm like, "All right." I mean, that was going on for like 2 or 3 weeks. When she would like text, she was a party. She liked to party.
Oh, that's so annoying.
And so she'd drunk text me. She'd be like, "I want you to fuck me." And I'd be like, "Oh, maybe next weekend." And then it happened.
Man,
back to Halo.
That fucking sucks, dude. That's so fucking annoying.
When I worked at the gym, when I was like, this reminded me of that, just like a girl coming up to you at a party. When I worked at the gym when I was like 24, 25, there was this like Korean kid who was like definitely like a nerd. He like dropped out of like some high level science to like become a personal trainer because he like loved Olympic weightlifting or whatever. And definitely came off as like a virgin, and he'd get teased for it. And he was like, no, I got laid at a party in California. What were you in California for? And he was down there for like BlizzCon. He said it was for like a World of Warcraft convention. And they're at like an after party afterwards, right? And they're like drinking and getting fucked up. And apparently what happened, because like I said, he was Korean, right? So they're drunk at the party, and a bunch of people at the party asked him, like, is it true what they say about like Asians have small cocks? And he like apparently had a ton of riz and was like, no, why don't I show you? Or they were like prodding at him to like see his prick. And so he like he did and like got his cock out. And then apparently after that, a girl came up and was like, it's a pretty nice cock. Why don't you come have sex with me in one of the bedrooms? And then he allegedly went up there and did it, which I always thought sounded like an incredibly fake story. But then you learn more about Blizzard and
just the culture they got going on.
I don't know. It's hard to say because people at those like people at gaming conventions, they do have some weird stinky sex back in the hotel,
right?
I know they're making those rooms stink, and it may not. Well, maybe it's not people that are conventionally attractive, and maybe they're a little weird, but they do get it in.
But Blizzard is famous now for a lot of those, and they had what they called the Bill Cosby room. They called it that.
You're not conventionally attractive. So you're conventionally attractive.
There were funny sweaters in there.
That's true. The walls looked like funny sweaters. They certainly weren't plying
stealing
people with
breast milk
drinks
from their coworkers.
They called it the Bill Cosby room because they said the damnedest things in there.
That's right. Well, that would be the kids.
Kids say the damnedest things. Kids say the stupidest goddamn fucking bullshit in the world.
That's what it was like being a WoW player after those stories came out, and anything in the game that sucked, you're like, This is probably that rapist guy that did this part.
I'm glad he got fired. I'm glad. Actually, no, they didn't get fired. They just.
Yeah. I'm glad
nothing happened. I'm glad we found out nothing happened.
It's the same thing when I'm listening to Lost Prophets and I hear a drum fill that I don't like. I'm like, oh, the singer probably wrote that drum fill. It's probably his fault.
No, dude. The Lost Prophets drummer's not that good. We start talking shit about that guy. Fuck him.
Yeah, a lot of those people go way too easy on those other guys just because they didn't do what the other guy did. But I heard the bass player cheated on his wife in 1987.
Fuck.
It all kind of got swept under the rug.
Oh, ooh.
Let's revisit that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The guitarist doesn't mow his lawn.
The drummer violated BDS a few times.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Well, hey, you know what? Some people do that on accident, and we shouldn't throw stones at them.
What?
He's not paying attention.
That was the old shit. He would never.
What?
They don't even sell Sabra in Ohio.
Oh, darn, that's not.
That's right. That's a Colorado.
Yeah. No, sorry. I saw a picture of a fucked up sandwich, and I was kind of in awe. But yeah.
Tell us about the
Were
sandwich.
they not
how's it
fucking
fucked
around
up?
on
I don't
sandwich
know,
night?
some like sausage. I don't
Have a
know.
big onion on it?
Dude, save it and send it in the chat.
No, it's a
I saw a
podcast.
fucked up
sandwich.
sandwich. I don't know. It has some sauce on it.
I want to look at
Sausage.
it.
No,
I want
no,
to see
it-
the sandwich.
I'll show
I thought
you
you liked
after.
sauce.
I should.
Describe it.
It's just a very flat piece of white bread with looks
You
like
bring enough
little
for all of us?
sausage links, all cut in half down the middle.
Okay.
And that looks to be about it. Just bread and
Sounds European as fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
about
does.
sausage on a sandwich.
Well, it depends on. Well, it's like the same as
Breakfast
like
sandwich?
a hot Italian sausage.
Yeah, I guess
right?
like a salami is just a big sausage sliced.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta close Twitter down. I can't look at these sandwiches anymore. What's up?
Is it
bird-
on
Yeah,
like
or-
bad sandwiches? What the fuck?
I
Are
don't
you
know,
on the
they just see-
sandwiches
I just-
topics?
No, I just where all the
searching
sandwiches I
sandwiches.
see, all the pics of sandwiches. I
Sandwiches
see
are
on
trending
Twitter.
for chat.
I don't know.
Like salami
Chet-
was trending.
Chet somehow is the only person on X where he has no politics on his trending. It says like sandwiches, dogs, space.
No,
There's a tiny little button that says news, and the X is out of it. No, thank you.
my Instagram suggested is nothing but Chihuahua accounts.
That's good.
I do
pretty
get
good.
actually every once in a while I get a babe on there, but that's just because Laura's a friend.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys about this because, like, a couple weeks ago, they had that whole thing where you can like filter off getting political posts from people that you don't follow, and I saw
Yes.
like quite a few accounts and shit like with instructions of like, here's how you turn off this setting so you can see more politics stuff on Instagram. And like, why would you
Yeah.
want to do that?
Don't like it.
I mean, to stay updated. Like, say you don't use Twitter or anything else, then you would see like shit. But it's for like hiding what's happening in Gaza. It's hiding what Israel is doing,
Okay.
basically. So the idea is like you use Instagram as your sole means of social media. So this is how you can stay updated, which I wouldn't recommend, right? It's not.
Yeah,
Instagram
it seems
should not
like
be
a
used
really
like that.
bad way
But,
to go about things.
I mean, but like people do, so that's why, and they automatically opted you out of seeing like political stuff, which is a little sketchy, and it also just again coincides with a genocide happening. So that's why people are
Okay,
upset
'cause I
about
was
it.
thinking that-
I did
And they
not
kind
turn
of
it
gave
back
up on the propaganda. They kind of gave up on trying to make the case to people that, no, we're a moral army. We
Yeah.
don't massacre civilians all the time. They're just doing it in front of everybody. And they're like, well,
Don't.
come on,
Because
guys.
in my head,
Yeah,
it would
just-
make
just
me
let us do
like
this.
not get as much stuff about like how woke is ruining gender or whatever, right? Like
No,
I
but
don't
you're
want to
still
see that
getting that.
bullshit.
But you're still
Yeah, I
getting
guess
it because
Twitter
we look
is
at
Twitter has definitely more of that shit.
Yeah, Twitter. That's why I don't turn it on Instagram, because I already follow enough people on Twitter and like see that stuff, so I'm able to like stay abreast of the news and realize
breast.
what's happening. Yep, thank you. And but like
Artie
Instagram,
Lang.
I don't want it on.
breasts. Those are nice.
I don't want to see that shit on Instagram. On Instagram, I want to just like find like bearded guys making weepy posts and dumb shit, like, or sending one's got to go of 4 different foods back and forth like a couple
Like
different
Ben
people.
and I have sent so much of that horse shit back and forth to each other now that it's like filtered me into a lot of like Christian stuff. So like, I'm just like looking at it now. No Valentine, no situationship, no textationship, not even a talking stage. Just me and my relationship with God.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's like all those posts. But again, those posts lead into like King's community, where it's like just woman killers everywhere. Like, she broke my heart and she's gotten over me. And then like all the guys in the comments being like, I hate my ex for this.
I feel like there should be some way to prove that you weren't in remedial classes in high school, so it doesn't recommend you Andrew Tate stuff. Because it seems like it just assumes everyone by default was like a guy who scratches his nuts in public and shits his pants, and the teachers had to do twice the amount of work to get him to graduate. It seems like the computer just assumes that everybody's one of those guys, and it wants to like tell you how not to jack off until your dick bleeds. And I'm more interested in like animal pictures.
Yeah.
Mine is all industrial photography, and then a bunch of like the big sartorialist and gainer bowl fat gay guys.
Yeah.
And then
That's cool.
like between that will be like those fucking dudes who are like Malibu's most wanted type white guys, but they're like, I'm the top realtor in the Boston area. Fuck with me. All right.
I love those guys.
I will.
There's this one fucking guy that I hate probably more than anybody now. He goes by King Max on there with 2 eyes. I've deduced I think he lives in Williams Lake, BC, because there's a sign in one of his videos that comes up occasionally for a turn to Bella Coola, which would make a lot of sense. And
I'll find him.
Yeah, anyways, he's one of these like Andrew Tate guys. Like he has things about how feminism's ruining society and how like women won't delete guys off of their Instagram when they're dating or whatever. And
bitches.
Ben sent me this one of his today that I posted a screen cap of it on Twitter, but he said, I ain't for this generation. No sleeping together on the first date. I date to marry. I legit vibe to gospel songs like Lion featuring Chris Brown. I prefer game nights with loved ones over wasted at some local pub. That shows you that he's in a small like town because he's not saying the bar or the club. I'm focused on my future and keep God the center of everything. And I clicked on it, and then it was like, whatever your Instagram name is right now, Tom, had commented on it. And I scrolled down, and it was hidden by Instagram. And it was just you saying loser LMFAO.
Yeah, my shit gets hidden because I get warnings because like every one of those accounts, I'm just leaving mean comments on because it's funny for me.
That kind of free speech they don't like. They don't like the free speech when you say you're still a loser even though you bought that ebook that guy sold you, because you're still a guy who masturbates 20 times a day.
They don't like hearing the truth. They don't want to hear the actual truth.
No, dude, you're a god emperor. Yeah. You're like Alexander the Great.
The reason no one can hang out with you and everyone's abandoned you is because of them. It's not certainly
you're
not
the Lord. You're the world's biggest pussy. Fuck you.
Some Jew convinced people to not like guys who don't wear deodorant.
Yeah. Every time I type those comments, Instagram's like, these have been recently reported. Or, these are, you might want to rethink that. And I go, nope, please send that. And so a lot of them get hidden. Sometimes they don't. And then I can get into arguments with those guys where they're just like writing paragraphs after paragraphs at me, like all the time in the world. And I'll just reply like, man, get a job. What are you doing? You got what the fuck are you doing writing paragraphs?
We get shit on enough as it is,
man.
For the kind of people we are and the stuff we say and do.
That's
and
all
what we
that
look
shit.
like.
It's like, we get enough shit for being awful. Can you not? This is a safe space for us.
Yeah,
right,
this is for us to lie to each other and tell each other we're awesome.
The He-Man Bitch Haters Club. Get out of here. This is our clubhouse.
It makes me, when I see those like people in those comment sections, it makes me be like a 14-year-old and just like want to just scream, you fucking pussy, fuck you, at all of them.
Yeah,
I want to send them all
you should
viruses.
hang your head low. You should be ashamed of yourself.
It reverts me back into like my meanest stages.
Yeah, it's
fun.
I don't get how those guys are right wing. It never makes sense to me. Like, you're a fucking pussy. Fuck
They
you.
just want power over people. That's all.
If you ever want to just ruin one of those guys' days, just reset their password. Just do a password reset request. They fucking melt down forever. They get that email and they're like, someone's fucking with me.
Whatever you have to do to get those guys off the computer.
Yeah, it's great.
Same thing if like you had like a 10-year-old kid.
At the very least, you waste
wanted
their
the
time.
10-year-old kid to not not have a public social media account, unrestricted access to the internet. You just keep pulling the plug and shit and just deleting their accounts and like taking their shit away. And that's what needs to happen to those guys. Just
absolutely.
Their account needs to just not work anymore.
This fucking guy who's like, I'm a warrior of God. I'm here to date to marry. Like his fucking page when you don't scroll through reels where he's like walking around at night like brooding and like writing quotes about shit. It's like him in the fucking gym like not bathroom, change room. Like he's pulling up his t-shirt and then holding his t-shirt in his teeth and then like one hand's dangling to the side and he's taking a selfie with the other one. You're just trying to get laid, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, all he's trying to do. That's all they're trying to do.
Didn't you hold up the shirt with the other hand?
You could.
Yep.
You got one hand free. You don't need to put it in your mouth. And like, then you're basically chewing the collar, but from the bottom. Mm-hmm. You've got the reverse collar chew thing.
I'm stretching out the bottom.
You've got teeth marks in the bottom of your
head. There's a comment on this picture from the account Urban Farm Beast, whose name is Maximilian Wall. Oh man, I would love to get jacked with you. I would be your David Goggins.
It's just all those guys scamming each other all day long. It's a bunch of bots with fitness in the name just replying to each other's posts automatically.
They're cool.
Yeah, they're cool. They're all my friends.
And once in a while, there's some guy who's dumb enough to buy their ebook for $20, and it's like 2 pages long and just says like, you should Google Couch to 5K challenge.
Well, hold on now. Let's not call everybody who spends $5 on an ebook that's 2 pages long stupid.
Well, no, you're the only sale. You're the only sale on the Dilly Dolphin store.
Hey, I hope that continues. I'm proud to be the only sale on the Dilly
No
Dolphin.
one wants to buy those $80 wall paintings that are like a fucked up flag with the wrong number of stars and stripes.
I want a painting of an AI burger.
I love having a 15-year-old YouTube account where your entire branding is something with Jack or Jack on the go, whatever, and you call your merch shop the Dilly Dolphin Gift Shop.
Because he's an entrepreneur. He's a guy who's like, well, I'm not satisfied with having one company or 2 companies. I need 3 or 4 companies, and it's just a bunch of Etsy stores no one looks at.
People said the same thing I did to him, and he's like, this is nothing to do with my YouTube channel. This is my merch store. It's like, what are you talking about?
Well, I guess that's why you have 0 sales.
Yep. The only thing that upsets me is that I had to purchase on that store and not on Amazon, so I couldn't just like refund it immediately like I did with the Bottom Half Shower Chef's book and get my money back.
It's so funny. No, he should pay us. I still think he should pay us because we were editing.
We fixed the book. Yeah, both of them.
He didn't know the book was fucked up.
Well, now he does, and he made a weepy video about it.
Yeah, it was all. He's the victim of charging people for faulty products.
I'm certainly
that's
making
a situation where we should feel
terrible.
bad for you and not the customers who got scammed.
Yep,
that's true. Everybody eat carnivore. Yeah. That's the final message of the day.
Yeah, check out the Dilly Dolphin store. Check out our live show tickets.
Check out our live show tickets.
Patreon and vote.
Buy all of the tickets. If we sell out the first show, we'll go to second one up to 3 shows. Yeah. So
in fact, if you want, buy all the tickets and resell them yourself to people.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Buy them all right now.
Yep.
Bye.
Vote or die. Bye.
There's a million reasons why I don't believe it. There's a million reasons why it can't be true. Open fire can't melt steel. It's not hot enough. It's nothing new, it's not a mystery. Check out the Reichstag, Germany. There's a million questions still remain unanswered. There's a million questions still to be resolved. Out of 19 Muslim guys, 7 still remain alive. It's nothing new, it's not a mystery. USS Liberty. 9/11, 9/11. What went down with Building 7? It's a mystery to this day. The building fell with such precision. Free fall speed, no reasons given. Like the towers, it just fell. Fire's not enough, no way hard enough to bring it down. building fell with such precision. Free fall speed, no reasons given. Like the towers, it just fell. Fire's not enough, no way hard enough to bring them down. We've gotta stand up, we've gotta be strong, we've gotta hold our nerve until the job is done. And they've made a killing. They don't care about the blood that they're spilling. Oh, 9/11, 9/11, what went down with Building 7? Ever since that fateful day, our civil rights have disappeared. A global fascist state draws near, and our freedom slips away. And they don't give a stuff, they've made that clear enough. So now it's up to